Everything okay, Rev? Oh,
Twitch,
fuck.
if you don't know who I am,
Oh my
this
God.
is John Flex, the wholesome patriot. And I'm here to tell you there's nothing more patriotic than taking care of your fellow human being. So please go get vaccinated. Now, if you'll excuse me, while you guys talk about video games, I gotta bust out some reps.
This was inevitable, right?
You know,
This
he
was always-
tweeted-
When John...
he tweeted before the show that I was going to be on and that there was going to be some special guest host.
And I knew it was gonna be something dumb.
I didn't know what it was. I thought maybe he was bringing someone on, but no one else was in the video. I'm sorry, this is thunderstorm outside. No one else was in this call, and his video was off. So I thought, okay, he's putting his dog on. He's got his dog.
Yeah,
or his
he's doing
kid.
something
like,
dumb.
One of those sweet, like wholesome, cute John things that he does. And so I was like, okay, he's got the dog, whatever. And then
Is that a mullet
what we
wig?
did.
No, I saw this coming a mile away.
This specifically?
No, not this
I
specifically.
mean, I straight up called him out for it.
But the
Like,
second-
before
the
he
second
tried to
he
pull
got-
me, oh, I'm having camera issues.
Yeah.
No.
The second he was super coy about the special guest, like, this is gonna be a dumb John costume thing. Like, I thought it might have been Waluigi or something.
Is this revenge for the time that I had my camera off at the start of a show and then I came on and like dressed as John?
Walmart for $5.
Actually, that's really. I love that shirt. Actually,
I like that.
want
Your
one.
shirt's
I want one of
actually-
those. Those are on sale at Walmart.com.
That shirt's unironically pretty good, actually.
It's really good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, the shirt's great.
Hold on, I'm gonna find it.
This cherry blow pop is so delicious.
Oh my
You know
god!
what,
Yeah,
John?
there it is. It's $6.
Ah,
No, I'm buying this.
All right. Where for America?
Hey, John.
What?
Hey, Patriot John. You're not using the microphone that I told you to get. What's
Ah.
this microphone? You're cheating on your producer's recommended microphone.
What do you mean I can't buy it online?
I wanted something that was going to display a bunch of colors.
That sounds like a John choice.
Did you wait? Hold on. Is that an RGB microphone? Are you kidding
I want to
me?
be fancy.
Oh my god. Oh
Y'all,
my god.
something
He's
came
been
up, I
using it
can't-
for the
That
past.
is so much more troubling.
He's
than
been
the
using that
outfit.
since
Like,
before I came back, y'all. I don't know why y'all only just noticed.
Reb, I love you,
I haven't been
and I'm
on for a
sorry I have
while.
to leave.
Oh,
This is a video game podcast, brother. Why aren't we talking about video games?
this isn't even in the top 10 dumbest SDGC
true.
shows I've done.
I take
so,
offense
I mean,
to that.
really,
I take
we're
great
fine.
offense to that.
We're fine.
Shenanigans.
Anyway, we're welcoming back Reb Valentine. Reb, how the hell are you?
Say hi to Reb.
Hi, Reb.
I hope
No, I'm not
not.
gonna do the whole show like this.
Who the hell is a great way to open this?
I can't do the whole show like this because
Oh,
it's
thank
literally
God.
hurting my throat.
Yeah,
Okay.
Family reunion.
Yeah, good.
Yeah. Hi, Saki.
It's really hurting my throat to scream like that, so I'm not gonna do the whole show like that.
Oh, and
I also
literal
think
Saki, too.
I think I pulled a bicep doing my reps. So that's cool. But this lollipop is really good though.
I think you pulled on. I lost the joke. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter anymore, Derek. It doesn't matter anymore.
Something about straining our
that was-
friendship, and I just couldn't put it together in time. So
No, in all seriousness, it is so nice to have her back on.
yeah,
I guess it's nice to be back.
it's like you never left.
Honestly,
wanted-
yeah, that's about right.
Reb, I wanted to do something special for your
And
big
this
night
is
back.
what you came up with?
Wow. Look, I didn't have a lot of time, okay? I had wanted
You
to
asked
do
me to
something
be on the
special.
show 2 weeks ago.
I know, but I'm lazy and
This is
lethargic,
John. I
and
wanted to do
I-
something special, but I didn't
put it
care enough
off.
about you to
But
try.
also, you
I
know
put
who
it
I am
off
as a
for too
person.
long.
So
I put it off for way too long. But Reb, there is a fucking holy shit. It
Godzilla's
sounds
fighting outside your.
It sounds like the
The
armies
Midwest,
of Mordor.
folks.
yeah.
It sounds like the armies of Mordor are massing outside
It
of
has
Reb's
been-
front door.
It's been, I've woken up every morning for, I have not kept track, but something like the last 2 weeks, like very seriously. And I've looked at my phone, and the first thing I've seen on my phone is excessive heat warning in big letters at the top of it every single day for the last 2 weeks. Last night we had a low of 81. It has been humid as all hell. And this is what happens when you live in the Midwest, as our Midwestern listeners know. It gets humid and humid and humid, and you think you're going to die many days in a row. And then suddenly there is a storm and you feel wonderful for about 12 hours,
Right.
and then it starts all over again. And that's the summer here. So that's what we're doing right now. We're in the storm.
That's me and you, unfortunately.
I would take that, because in Florida, what happens is it'll rain for 10 minutes, just long enough to make it even more humid, and then you just want to die even more. It's awful.
Wait, hold on. Does Reb have a witchy laugh?
Kind of. It's
I
lovely.
think they're referring to the he thing. Yeah.
Okay, I was like, I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that it's a witchy laugh.
It's a little bit. It's okay. I
In
take
a
it
fun way,
compliment.
not in like a
I
eating
take it
children
nicely.
kind of way.
But no, but Reb, in all seriousness, you are fucking crushing it over at IGN. I could not be prouder of. I mean, look, you just. So I want to focus on this interview that
A
Reb
thing
just
you
did.
liked because I said the word Final Fantasy VI. To be clear.
Okay, no, it's not even just Final Fantasy VI. It's
definitely
Sakaguchi.
Final Fantasy VI.
Hironobu Sakaguchi is the creator. He's the father of the Final Fantasy franchise, and he's been a big. The games that he's made have
So
really.
look at all the Final Fantasy shit immediately behind John.
Right, like
Yeah,
I mean,
right.
let me hold on. Let me.
Yeah, you take
Actually-
that.
Actually, the star of the show's here. Hi.
But at any rate, somebody's going to be like, John violated flag code.
I wasn't gonna make the joke, but
You have no idea what I've done with that flag. Oh, Finn, that is awesome.
That's beautiful.
Don't worry about it. You know, I am actually going to order one of those myself. But so Sakaguchi is the father of Final Fantasy,
Yes.
and the games that he's made have really meant a lot to me, and I know they've meant a lot to Finn. And Reb, you did a really cool interview with him a few days ago. And how did that opportunity come about?
So, I mean, kind of awkwardly, right? Because IGN doesn't do a whole ton of mobile coverage, right? But and this is like a weird thing because I didn't talk about this too much when I was on SDGC, but my background is actually pretty heavily in mobile games. I came up on doing a lot of different kinds of freelancing and contract work, but I did do a whole crap ton of mobile news guides and reviews for a couple of years. And so I have a background in mobile, and I do have really strong opinions about mobile and what constitutes a good mobile game. And I think mobile games get sidelined a lot, and IGN doesn't do a whole crap ton of mobile coverage because people who read IGN don't go there to read mobile games. Like mobile game coverage, people don't read it. They just don't. People who love mobile games do not come online to read about them. And kind of one of the exceptions to that is Apple Arcade, because a lot of the games on Apple Arcade, because it's a subscription service. I mean, this is not me trying to be a shill for Apple or anything, but it is a good idea, right? It's a subscription service. It's got tons of exclusive games, and you pay the subscription fee, and so you don't have ads, you don't have microtransactions, and the good thing about it, whatever you want to say about companies and how they corner markets, the good thing about it is that the people who are making the games on it, they don't have to design them in predatory ways. They can just make these experiences that are made for smaller screens, touch phones, do really interesting and unique things with them, and still reach that audience without doing weird predatory shit. So I have tried where I can to get a little bit more mobile coverage on IGN where I can, where it's something that I think the audience would be genuinely interested in, or something I think is genuinely good. And Apple Arcade has had a couple games like that lately, and Fantasia was one of them. And I was approached by Apple PR because they would also love if more people wrote about mobile games for Fantasian, because they had the announcement of part 2 coming soon, and they wanted to do something to go with it. And they offered the interview with Sakaguchi because this is his current project. Hironobu Sakaguchi is currently working. Well, he's finished now. It's actually out now. It came out a day early. This has been. He's done a whole bunch of stuff since he left Final Fantasy and Square Enix behind. He's done a lot of his own projects, and he has said he hasn't confirmed that Fantasian is his final project. He's getting close to retire. I don't know how old he is, but he's in retirement age thereabouts. And him and Nobuo Uematsu, who did all the really good Final Fantasy music, they're both getting up there in years. And he said in a few interviews previously that this was. Maybe the way he phrased it is, if this was his final project, he would feel very satisfied with that. He would feel that he had put it all on the table. And they offered me an interview with him, and I mean, who's going to turn down the opportunity to talk to him? And it stinks because I haven't actually gotten to play Fantasia. I've read up on it, I've done my research, I've watched the trailers, but I don't have an iOS device, so I haven't gotten to play it. But I did my homework and I got to talk to him about it, and he's just a really nice person. I don't know, it's always hard to tell in an interview, and this is the games industry, so you're always finding out that people are actually like secret scumbags. But like I don't know, he just seems like your nice dad. He just seems like a guy. Like he likes his family. He likes making things. He likes making nice little fantasy adventures, and he's really good at it. And he's just super chill. He laughed a lot, real sweet.
I want to highlight a Reb. Could you actually? I don't want to talk about it because you're the one who did the interview. Could you talk about what he said about being a father during the development phase of Final Fantasy VI? Because that's something that really, really kind of hit me close.
Yeah, he talked a lot about family in our interview. Actually, he brought it up like themes of family multiple times because I was kind of asking him like very broad, because I don't have him give away part 2 of Fantasian, right? Like I was asking him very broad themes, like what is this about? What did you feel while you were making it? Stuff like that. And he kept bringing up thinking about his family. And at one point he brought up this sort of tie-in about how back when he was working on Final Fantasy VI, during that period of development, his daughter was born, and so he was thinking a lot about having a kid and bringing new life into the world. And so he said, I wanted to have a scene in Final Fantasy VI where there's a child who's born, that this idea of bringing new life into the world and what that means to the kind of gravity that it has. He's referencing a scene in Final Fantasy VI where there's a baby that's born, and it's this contrast between like this world that's falling apart around everybody, but there's this new life and there's this hope, and it's really nice scene. And then he said that his daughter that was born during the development of Final Fantasy VI is now getting married in October as he's finishing up Fantasian. And so he said, in Fantasian, there's definitely a relationship depicted between a parent and child, and there's certain connections that I draw, of course, from my real life experiences that perhaps naturally, or perhaps it might be a message that I want to say or subtly put into the story. I would say it's partially age, partially personal experience, but there's a lot of things that you carry going into development like this. So yeah, he's like, I don't know, he's just a nice guy making games, thinking about his family while he's doing it and thinking about how much he cares about them. There's another thing he said at the end, actually, where he was talking about it again, and he was saying about how, again, focusing on these themes of family and life and passing on things from generation to the next. He had like a 3-hour conversation with his wife the night before we had an interview about, because all his parents and his wife's parents have all passed on, and they were just talking about their parents and their feelings and thoughts about them and their memories of them, and they had like this 3-hour conversation with his wife about it. And he just told me this in this interview, and I'm like, wow, this is like really lovely. It's just like, and he's like, yeah, I don't know if we'd ever had that kind of conversation if I hadn't made Fantasian. Like, wow, okay.
That is so fucking cool.
guy.
And I have had so many people tell me that I need to play Fantasian.
You do.
And yeah, Finn is among them. It's a 2-part game, and like part 2 comes out like tomorrow. Did it come out?
It's out now.
It's out now.
Shadow dropped early. Yeah, it's out now.
Oh, wow.
It was supposed to be tomorrow, but it went a little early.
Holy shit.
It's it's very traditional JRPG, John. Like it is exactly up your alley. Literally the only thing that you would not like about it. I mean, you can even play it on an iPad though, so you don't even have to deal with a small screen. It's seriously, I mean, there's no gotcha shit. There's no weird mobile. It's just a JRPG, man.
I would
It's
love
on Apple Arcade, right?
Yeah,
it is.
That's the only place you can get it right now.
Well,
Okay.
I think it's going to be the only place you can get it ever, Reb, because I think Apple actually bankrolled the game, didn't they?
I don't know. I haven't looked into that. My experience with stuff like that is those deals are, like time limited in some way. I wouldn't be shocked if someday it came to another device that was not a mobile device. Like I doubt we ever see it on Google Play on Android,
Right.
but I wouldn't be surprised if it ended up like on Switch. There's a lot of Apple Arcade games that do eventually make their way to Switch or
Interesting.
to
I didn't know that.
PC.
Yeah,
I did not know that.
I was actually gonna say the can't specify, but I know there is at least a few that are eventually making their way to Switch.
Yeah, I know a couple as well. I don't know anything about Fantasian specifically. It might not though. They might have I don't know what the terms of their deal are.
Well, Finn, Finn has been telling me for a while now that I need to play Fantasian.
Me too, yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe I'll steal my son's iPad and play it on that. Sorry, bud. He's probably watching right now with a whole lot of questions.
Just get yourself a backbone.
I don't think your son has any questions. I think that this is
No,
probably
your son knows
just
exactly who you are.
yeah, who you are as a person.
Yeah. I'll also, before we move on to this interview, I got to shout out like the best thing in the entire world. So you saw my stripey cat Robo walk by, and I've bet on before she shows up all the time.
Yes.
So Sakaguchi also worked on, he was a designer, I believe, on Chrono Trigger.
Part of the Dream
And the
Team.
cat walked by at one point, and first, so it's in translation. He speaks Japanese. We have a translator on the call as well. But I know 3 Japanese words from watching anime, right? And so he immediately tells me my cat is kawaii, and I'm like, ah, he's it's cute. He's like, cute, cute. And then he asked me what her name is. And I say Robo, like from Chrono Trigger. And his whole face lit up. And he goes,
That's awesome.
Robo-chan. And I'm like,
that's so fucking.
he likes my
that's so
cat.
good. That is so.
I didn't even think about that connection when I said that. I was like, oh, Robo, like from Chrono Trigger, the RPG that exists. And then I'm like, wait.
Reb over here trying to break down Chrono Trigger.
I didn't say that, but I'm thinking in my brain. I mean, it's like, I don't know. It's like when someone asks you what's on your T-shirt, and you're like, oh, it's this, and then it's like, wait, you worked on this game. Hold on.
Hey, Reb, what's on your T-shirt?
This is Golden Sun: The Lost Age. An excellent game.
We're gonna, Reb, if I hadn't worn my wonderful, for anybody in chat, my wonderful cool cats and kittens shirt that I picked up at Walmart, I've got my Yeti Golden Sun T-shirt in the other room.
I'm buying that shirt right now, by the way.
Oh, what? Cool cats and kittens?
Yes, I'm literally purchasing it right now.
Guys, you can purchase. We're not even sponsored. Look at this. You can purchase this shirt right now on Walmart.com.
It's $6 on Walmart, which is great, but Walmart doesn't deliver online. So I'm instead buying it for $22 on Amazon, like a clown.
Reb really wants this shirt.
I do. It's really good. It's very stupid.
Cool cats and kittens. So we had a resolution that we weren't going to talk about anything sad tonight. We weren't going to talk about we're going to keep it light. We're going to keep it happy. So what we're going to do is we are going to we're going to start it off like we usually start it off. We're going to talk about what we've been playing right now. We're going to go around the horn, talk about that, and then we are going to have a discussion on video game franchises that are dead and that we would like to see return, with the added topic of how we want them to return. Because just because a game franchise comes back doesn't necessarily mean that it has to adhere to the gameplay mechanics of when it originally released. And you know what, Justin, you haven't been on for a while, man, because you've been busy. Why don't you kick
hanging
us off
out with me? He's been busy hanging out with me.
Yes, I actually.
I forgot.
I was hanging out with Reb last weekend.
Yeah.
Before
that, I was just super overworked. So, Finn, go ahead.
No, I've just because you were hanging out with Reb, but I had no idea. Like, how did that even come to be? Did you just go, I want to go on a trip? Hey, Reb, you're my favorite. I want to visit you, or
yeah. That's what he did.
That's awesome.
We were going to do the same thing. He was going to come to Louisville at a certain point, but then it was we're going to get to see each other in November. So,
I wanted to do a few trips, and I didn't have the money to do as many as I wanted to. This one ended up being really affordable because of my hotel discounts from work and flying out. Plus, I'm kind of at a point where I want to see some new cities, stuff like that. I've never just gone somewhere because I'd never been to Kansas City before. So I'm going to get hit in the face a lot tonight. So it just worked out, but I'm hoping to try to, again, over the next few years, try to get to see more people. I'll see at least Derek and John, as well as Brittany, and
I'm still so sad I'll never be able to go do that with you guys.
You do awesome on your stream.
Hey, you outraise the group. Like that's
you outraise us every year.
That astounds me.
But I still want to be part of it with y'all. Jeez,
that's true. But
I love you. Come be part of it.
Anyway, I did not mean to derail. So Justin,
please, Justin, continue.
Yeah, so I've kind of just been bouncing around. I've been replaying a lot of stuff. I replayed Last of Us Part 2 because it got that PS5 update. Same with Plague Tale. I didn't quite finish Plague Tale yet, but I played most of it. Also a good update. But this past week, I finally got into the Splitgate beta, which, if you don't know what Splitgate is, it's literally Halo plus Portal with the jetpacks from Call of Duty and the HUD of Overwatch.
So
that's what Splitgate is.
So it's every game.
It's mainly Halo plus Portal. Like, it is shamelessly Halo plus Portal. Like,
I had never even heard of this. I had never even heard of this thing until I heard you bring it up on Twitter. Or I didn't hear you bring it up on Twitter. I saw you.
It's blowing up right now. So basically, it's free to play. It's doing a beta right now for the console releases as well as, cross-play functionality. It's been out on PC, I think, for about a year or so in early access. It's really, really fun. If you can get over how shameless of a Halo ripoff it is, it's a blast. I haven't had this much fun with a multiplayer game in a long time. And the portals element adds just enough of a gameplay twist to separate it from Halo. Because in casual, it really just feels like you're playing low budget Halo. But in when you're actually playing in some of these tough ranked matches, people will drop portals and then get new sniper angles based off of that and stuff. And you can shoot yourself through a portal if you'd like.
If you'd like, if you would care to.
Yes,
if it
if it pleases the court.
If it pleases the court.
But the core gunplay feel has a lot of the recognizable weapons from Halo. They work a lot like they do in Halo. They have the announcer. They have all the kill puns when you go on kill streaks and stuff. But it's really, really fun. And it's kind of blowing up right now. I had downloaded it a while ago, but the servers were getting blown up because so many people were trying to play it that you had to wait in these ridiculously long queues to even log in. But they have since increased the server capacity. So I've been playing quite a bit this past week and just really, really enjoying it. I have a feeling its player base is probably going to die down a lot once Halo Infinite actually launches.
That was my next question. Yeah, I was going to ask about that.
Halo Infinite's multiplayer is going to be free to play on Xbox and PC.
Forget it.
But I wouldn't be surprised if it continues to have a pretty healthy player base on PlayStation, because obviously Halo's not going to be there. So, it's really good. It's just it's really well made. It feels really polished. And I'm just having a blast with it.
Look at Derek's camera. Look at poor Twiggy down there.
Twiggy.
Martha's
playing Mass Effect out there, and Twiggy's scared of the gunshot noises.
Oh,
Dylan, I dare you to Google Bandit Keith.
I see. So apparently it's part of a Yu-Gi-Oh, and I don't know what Yu-Gi-Oh is.
Google Bandit Keith and look at the image search. It's safe. You're fine.
Okay, Bandit Keith.
It's not inappropriate. Just Google it. That's you right now.
Bandit.
I couldn't figure. I'm so glad Remorse Betrayal said that, because I saw him come on and I was like, oh, he's cosplaying. But then my brain did not. The synapses did not fire to remind
Holy
me.
shit.
That's you right now, Bandit Keith.
Wow. Okay.
I don't remember anything about actual Bandit Keith from the show Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah,
but I remember watching Yu-Gi-Oh! The abridged series, and I just remember the parody of
he's
Bandit
missing
Keith
the beard, but other than that,
constantly being I love America over and over again.
Yeah. No, I absolutely see it now.
Yeah. Anyway, apologies for derailing again.
I'm punished Bandit Keith.
I was just very glad to have the revelation that that's what was happening.
I'm punished Bandit Keith. I'm Bandit Keith 20 years later. After he's retired, and but he's being called out for one more, whatever it is that he does.
A duel monsters.
A duel. Yeah, right. Exactly. That was what I was going to say next. Reb beat me to it.
Thank you.
But yeah, absolutely.
John, noted Yu-Gi-Oh, I think, lore expert.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, I know everything about Yu-Gi-Oh. I absolutely know what it is, and I know everything about it.
John, what's your Beyblade knowledge like?
My Beyblade knowledge. I've got 5 downstairs. I got 5 Beyblades downstairs. I used to have more. I sold them because I don't use them anymore. But I know a lot about it. I know quite a bit about Beyblades. But I want to talk about what Reb has been playing next, because Reb has been it's been such a long time since we've had Reb on. I'm very happy that she's here.
Since the last time I was here.
What's that?
I played so many video games since the last time I was here.
What's your favorite? What have you played most recently?
I'll give you 2, because and especially 2 that I haven't really gotten to talk about anywhere else, which I think is great, because I get to talk about I get to do Nintendo voice chat with IGN a lot, which is really great. So I get to talk about a lot of Switch games there, but I don't get to talk about a lot of other things. So actually, just last night I finished Death's Door. which have you all talked about that here before?
I've heard a lot about that.
Do I need to like recap what
I'm
this
talking
is?
about.
We
it.
haven't talked about it, I think, on the show.
Okay, so Death's Door, very very quick cycle of announcement to release. Like it was announced at E3, if I remember right, or at least like that was the first time it was like shown on a big scale. It's like PC and Xbox. It's a top-down Zelda-like where you play as a crow. The crows are the reapers, the grim reapers effectively, and it's their job to go reap souls. But in the opening minutes of the game, the soul that you have been assigned for your job gets away from you in a very specific way beyond Death's Door, and you have to obtain 3 great souls from these like big powerful creatures who have eluded death from a very long time in order to get your soul back so you can turn it in, because if you don't turn your soul in, you who are normally immortal are going to die, and you don't want that. It's a fairly short game. I actually 100%ed it, which I 100%ed 2 games this year, and I have never 100%ed games that had like extra content before this. So this is a big year for me. But I 100%ed it. Only took about 16 hours to do that. I think to beat it is just like between 8 and 10. It's very short. But it's such a pristine little game. Like I said, top-down Zelda-like, so a nice little slashy combat, little combos, a couple different weapons, 4 skills, a hook shot, a fireball, a bomb, and a bow and arrow that you can upgrade. But everything, all the puzzles, all the combat revolving around that. Absolutely beautiful music, just a phenomenal score by one of the two members of Acid Nerve, which is the main development team. They had some contractors as well, but really tight, looks really good, sounds really good, very fun to play. Like the exact right amount of little hidden secrets, like the exact right amount that you want. Not so many that you're just like, what the hell? Why are there so many? But they feel really rewarding too. Like there's lots of little tiny little lore bits. It's one of those games that I feel like people look at and go, it's like Dark Souls, and it's not really like Dark Souls, because I think one of the most incredible things about it, and one of the things that I really appreciated about it, is it's very, despite being a game about death and souls and fighting and swords, it's really gentle. It's really gentle with you. When you die, you just go back to your last checkpoint. It's really generous with its checkpoints. It's really generous with when you start out with 4 health bits. And whenever you get hit by anything, 1 goes away, so you can get hit 4 times. You can upgrade that a little bit, not too much. But there's no like health bar, there's no like anything like that. It's just you get hit 4 times, you're dead. But it's very generous when it gives you like healing spots and checkpoints, and you don't lose anything when you die. Like you do collect souls, which you can turn in for upgrades, but there's no. It's the kind of game where when you die, it posts a big death on the screen, like the word
so it's
death.
like Resident Evil. It's like you have died.
No. But it's awesome because it like cuts out the screen and you can still see what's going on in the background. But
so it's Dark Souls essentially. It's just like you died.
Yeah, in that regard. And so the couple times it happens, you're like, oh my god, I just lost everything. Holy shit, fuck, like I died. Oh no. But then you didn't lose anything. You still have all your stuff. You just run back to where you were and do it again. There's no penalty. And I thought, oh, well, maybe this is going to make it feel very inconsequential. It doesn't. It feels really good. It's just inviting you to learn and get better and eventually move forward. It feels so good. And it's also, I don't know, it's just gentle. Like the soundtrack uses a lot. The soundtrack can be intense. It has some very intense tracks, but it has a lot of piano in it, a lot of like more gentle, kind of like soothing things. The mechanic for healing, so there are these little flower pots that are scattered around, and then there are seeds, and you find a seed. There are exactly the same amount of seeds as there are to flower pots. So every flower pot has a corresponding seed, and you plant them, and then a healing flower will grow. And then if you want, you can consume it, fill up your health. And then the next time you enter or exit one of the doors, which is the transport between all the areas, it will revive itself. So you get like a new heal every time that happens. But it's so generous with those. When you start playing, you initially think, oh God, I need to save these seeds. It's like saving healing pots. Like, oh no, I need to hoard all these because otherwise I'm not gonna have enough later. But I was like halfway through the game, I got like 6 seeds just sitting. Why do I need all these? I'm just gonna start throwing, and you do, and it's good. It's just so gentle with you in a way that I did not expect, and I really appreciate it as like a busy adult who does not have time for this crap. And 100%ing it was very fun and rewarding. There's some really, it's from the people who made Titan Souls, and there's some interesting like Titan Souls tie-ins if you really want to dig for them. But yeah, it's just a really nice game.
It's real good.
Impressed.
This was announced at the Indie Direct the other day for Switch, right?
Mm-mm.
No.
Or was it? Or I might be
No.
thinking of something else.
It's an
It was
Xbox One.
E3.
Okay, like
Was it in the Xbox one? I don't remember actually.
It was.
It was in the Xbox One. It was one of the Game Pass announcements.
I would assume this would come to
Right.
Switch at some point, though, right? Because it seems like a perfect fit.
It's a game that it's one of those games that looks like it should be on Switch, yeah, but I have no
Yeah.
idea. I don't have any inside knowledge to that.
Right now, it's just Xbox and PC, as far as we know.
Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha. If you guys don't mind, I would like to go next.
Go for it.
Because I'm going to talk about 3 games, but they're going to be quick. The first one I want to talk about is Final Fantasy 3, not 6, but Final Fantasy 3. The one that never got ported. It finally the 2D version of Final Fantasy 3 finally saw a release in the West as part of the Pixel Remaster series. And without getting into all my issues with the fonts and stuff like that, because there are mods now, or whether or not it's going to come to console, because we all know it is. Final Fantasy 3 is now one of my favorite Final Fantasy games. And I'm somebody who played the 2D remake. It's just it is, if this makes any sense, it's just JRPG chicken soup. A simple story. It's the first time that we saw any of the jobs in Final Fantasy. There's 5 different airships in the game, and there's a big bad guy that you don't see till the very end. And then the heroes of light save the world. Like, it's very, very classic JRPG. But that's why I love it. It's gorgeous. Like, if there's one thing the Pixel remasters are doing very well, it's the visuals and the sound. Like, the sound is the entire soundtrack. Square Enix, please sell these soundtracks, because holy shit. They're like, everything is rearranged, and it's I cannot stop gushing over just how colorful and crisp and chunky those remade pixels are. It looks so good. It's just a really wholesome game, and it's exactly what I needed right now. Final Fantasy 3, one of my new favorite Final Fantasy games. The other 2 games to talk about real quick. The first one is Neo: The World Ends with You. I think I'm more than halfway through the game now, and as a big fan of The World Ends with You, like, I've finished that game multiple times. I love Neo: The World Ends with You. Although I've said it before and I'll say it again, should have been called The World Ends with 2. Come on, it should have, right? Like,
Man, I've been saying, I said that when it was first announced, and John gave me so much shit for it.
That's John's way.
Finn, please, that laugh I just did, please go forward attributing that laugh to you then.
Wait, hold on. No.
Yeah.
Finn is full of shit.
Yes.
Finn is full of shit.
No. When I will hunt down the tweet.
Hunt down the tweet, Finn. But at any rate, I love it. And I was wondering how I was going to feel about it, because The World Ends With You did something really unique with its stylus-based controls. This is much more of just a straight-up action RPG. But in a weird way, Finn, have you played Neo: The World Ends With You yet?
I have it, but I have not played it yet because I was finishing Death's Door.
Okay. But Finn, you've played Valkyrie Profile for
Of
PlayStation.
course.
Okay.
Yeah.
So actually, you know what? The combat really reminds me in a way of Valkyrie Profile, because everybody's attacks are mapped to a certain button. For example, like, Rindu's attack, depending on what pin you have equipped, might be mapped to, X, and, another pin might be mapped to B or A or Y. And essentially, and aside from that, it works exactly like the combat in The World Ends With You did. When you use up the power of a pin, you have to wait X amount of time before you can use that pin again. And so there's a lot of strategy involved, because as you get more characters, your attacks get more powerful. You can chain attacks together, and execute different levels of more powerful attacks. But there's a high amount of strategy in the combat that I was not anticipating. And there's some big spoilers already. That like I'm a little more than halfway through the game, and what I will say is not a great starting point for The World Ends With You if you have not played the first one. I would highly recommend you go back and do that before playing this.
I reviewed it for IGN,
as Red just said,
the review embargo for everybody on that game. So if you played the first one, it is divided into weeks, and this is a spoiler, but it shouldn't be one. Like, it's more, the Reaper's game is more than 1 week. It continues after you finish the first week. Shocker. everything after the first week was embargoed. I couldn't talk about it in the review. Like literally everything, couldn't show screens because even like Imran and I were both reviewing it at the same time, and I was ahead of him, and I was playing portable Switch and he was playing on the PS4, and I was just like hiding it because I'm like literally glancing at my screen as a spoiler.
I cannot wait to play
Quick question.
this.
I know they re-released the first World Ends With You on Switch, but is that also on PlayStation? Because I know Neo is. I just didn't know if. Okay.
I don't believe it is. It is on. There's a version of it on mobile.
Yeah,
it's not. Yeah.
Okay.
I will.
It just would not work on. I would not work on PlayStation due to the touch controls.
there's also
Okay, gotcha.
a really good animated adaptation. So
some people say it's bad.
I mean, okay, so let me put it this way. It is definitely not up to the standards of like what I would watch in a seasonal anime, but I am very picky and want really, really good stuff. This is so much better than, say, the Persona 4 or Persona 5 anime. Let me put it that way.
Okay.
So for most people, it'll be a good time.
May I chime in as someone who finished it?
Yeah.
Oh, you continue.
Please.
You finish, John. You finish.
No, Reb, please go ahead.
I was just gonna say, as someone who did finish it and trying to be spoiler free here, I loved the first game so much. I did review it for IGN if you want to like go read that. But I loved the first game very much. I played it as a teenager and it was like really personal to me. But it's been so long since the first game, and also the first week, the part that is less spoilery, is all about getting to know Rindo, Fret, and Nagi, this new trio of people, and getting to know their story. And I felt like the first game follows Neku on this very personal journey of like growth and coming of age and like learning that the world is only as big as he's willing to make it. And it's a really beautiful, like meaningful story. And he has a lot of growth. It's a cool character arc. And it's been so long since the first game that even though it was a sequel and I expected a lot of returning characters and a lot of references to the first game, I got really attached to Rindo, Fret, and Nagi, but especially Fret and Nagi. Like they're really, really cool characters. I thought it would be a similar arc of the three of them self-discovering and things like that. It was very much a direct sequel to the first game. So if that's what you're looking for, if you just played Final Mix and loved it, or if you've just been really wanting a direct sequel for all these years, that is what it is. I feel like that's not what its marketing made it out to be, and that's kind of a bummer. Right. And that really disappointed me. But
I would agree with I would agree with that. Like I definitely think Neku is a far more fleshed out and interesting character than Rindo is personally.
Yes.
Also
Rindo gets done so dirty by the end.
I'm also not a huge fan of Rindo's design. Like I like Neku's and that's a small thing that really doesn't matter a whole lot, but I thought Neku was a more visually arresting character than Rindo is. But I'm still loving it, and my plan is to finish it by the end of the weekend.
The music is now on Spotify.
Oh, that soundtrack is fucking banging.
For all the games and the anime, all soundtracks now on Spotify.
Yeah, fucking outstanding. And
I love that soundtrack. It's one of the few physical CDs I have at this point. So
good.
And the only thing I'll say about Axiom Verge 2 is that I've played about 5 minutes of it, and it's very, very pretty. But I haven't been able to sink enough time into it to talk about that one extensively yet. Why don't we talk?
Skip bosses in that game.
I don't know how I feel about that. Yeah.
Yeah, like, I've been trying to like figure out how to parse what I think about this because I've not played this game, so maybe my thoughts are invalid. It feels just knowing what I know about Metroidvanias and loving what I love about Metroidvanias, it feels like it's an attempt at accessibility that could have been better solved by offering. I think it does have pretty good disability settings from what I understand too. Or accessibility settings, I apologize. But it feels like an attempt at accessibility that ended up being a weird game design choice instead of...
I have heard people that I trust say that I like Axiom Verge 2, the first one was better.
Yeah. Okay.
But we'll see. Like, that's not to say it's a bad game.
Right.
But I'm definitely going into it, knowing stuff like that, Reb, I'm definitely going into it with some trepidation. Why don't we move on to Derek, and then we'll close it out with Finn, and we'll launch into our big topic.
Okay. Well, I haven't been on in a couple weeks, so I will start with the thing that hasn't been going as long. I finally got my hands on a PS5. It took long enough.
Look at you.
So it only really is just arrived, and I've been super busy with work, so I haven't had a lot of time to play it. Mostly because I'm sacrificing a lot of time to Martha as she continues to play Mass Effect. But I've been playing Spider-Man Miles Morales on it. I held out on playing it until I got the PS5 because I want to play the
Good
PS5
man.
version.
Good choice.
It's good. It's just so good. I love the Insomniac Spider-Man. Miles Morales is incredible so far. I love how fluid the game runs on new systems and how quick loading is. I've joked on Twitter a couple times. It's a PS4 but 5. And that's what I wanted.
That's what it is, yeah.
Yeah.
Although I will say the interface needs some work.
Sure, that's
because
every
it's-
Sony system. They all have terrible
Yeah.
OSs. That's
it's
just
not great.
how it works.
I've heard good things about some of the changes in the new firmware update. I'm not in the beta myself, but I've heard there's some good improvements in there.
I've never
on that
used a
side.
Sony product that had a good UI ever, so
Yeah.
I'm just not expecting that to
PS4
change.
wasn't
It's
bad,
fine.
but-
3
It's
and PSP XMB bar
No,
is
not
Yeah,
good.
the XMB is amazing.
Not good.
The XMB was good.
I love
Continuing. So I haven't had a lot of time to play PS5, but Miles Morales is what I have been playing so far. And a little Astro's Playroom because it's, you gotta play with the new controller. What I have been doing is on a whim, I've been playing through the Dead Rising games again. Because I only ever played the first two.
Oh, nice.
And then what is it, Case West, where it's like the remix of 2 but it's got Frank as the main character. I never actually played 3 or 4 because of the negative reception to them. So I replayed 1 for the first time in ages. Great time. Replayed 2 for the first time in ages because every time I've gone back I've played Case West, not actual Dead Rising 2. And then I played through 3 and beat it, and I'm working through 4. And I gotta say, 3's a way better game than people gave it credit for at the time. Everyone made it out like it was dumb and grimdark and didn't have any of the sense of humor or silliness of Dead Rising. And it looks kind of like it really badly wants to be an AMC original series, for sure. I acknowledge that. But, it's still a very silly game. And then Dead Rising 4 has been a blast so far. I know it doesn't have the time limit, and people are very upset that you don't have the Majora's Mask time management thing going on. And it might have been better to offer that as an option rather than cut it out entirely if they wanted the game to be more accessible to people. But it's fun. It's silly. I stuck a propane tank on a Triceratops mask and made a fire-breathing Triceratops mask that I could use to headbutt zombies. It's so good.
Who among us has not done this on a Saturday night?
It's just a very truly silly game, and it's all set in Christmas, so they kind of do the Dawn of the Dead shopping mall consumerism zombies thing, but explicitly
So this is
tie
technically a Christmas game, the same way that Die Hard is a Christmas movie.
Yes.
much more so because it's everything is Christmas, and it's explicitly tying and comparing the zombie horde to Black Friday shoppers.
Interesting.
Which is somebody who has serious PTSD from retail. I appreciate. But no, they're fun. They're a lot of fun, and I think, unfairly maligned the 3rd and 4th games for not being a straight up remake of Dead Rising 1 like 2 basically was. And it makes me sad that Capcom Vancouver basically got shut down because of how unfair we were to those games, I feel like. But, it's what it is. I'm having fun with them. That's me. That's what we got.
That's what's important, Derek, is that you're having fun with them.
I am having fun.
Nobody
And the
else
times
is.
that I'm available. I'm working so much right now.
I remember back when I was still in slideshow mill content territory, and I remember every year we would do top 10 Christmas games or whatever, and Dead Rising always in there.
It's so good.
Fantastic.
Always in there.
Derek, you're so good. Finn, Finn, with the father of Saki, so to speak.
Yes.
We're talking about the puppet, not the actual alcoholic drink. Finn, what have you been playing in between your bouts of being a father?
I can I don't have to spend too much time on this because the big one I've been playing lately is Death's Door, and Reb did a great job breaking that one down.
I want to know what you like about it, though.
I've captured my second giant soul, and I'm making my way into the third area. I now have I really love the sense of it. You put it in a good way. It is very Zelda-esque in its exploration and its discoverability, like the kind of way you feel like, oh, I found this little secret nook and now I got a bunch more souls to upgrade my abilities. But it never feels overwhelming, and it's a brisk game. The pace is really strong, and it doesn't waste a lot of time with padded content. Like it set out to deliver an experience, and it's not wasting any time with it, and I really appreciate it. I do want to point out I really love the humor of the game.
Yes, the writing is so good.
The one that really stands out, obviously, is the one that most people mention, is when you fight the Frog King and his title card.
Yeah,
and it just keeps going. I had to screenshot it to read all of it because it was so good. But it's the little things, like if you read a sign, and then if you attack the sign and cut it in half, if you read the sign again, the sign is cut. Like the dialogue box is cut in half the same way you cut the sign. And I don't know why that tickles me so much, but I really love that little attention to detail to it.
Yeah, I thought the pacing going up to the first boss, like the old woman, the Urn Witch. I thought the pacing going up to her was really, really strong, because they build up to these bosses, the 3 giant souls, like especially the 2 that you've seen already. The characters, they pop up repeatedly and they like taunt you, and it's built up over like a course of several different areas where it's just like, oh well, you're in the Urn Witch's estate, oh well, there she is, she's there, she's taunting you, and it gets bigger and bigger, so you're like geared up, you're ready, you're going in there, you're gonna fight her, you walk in and she's up there, bro, you're like, oh, I'm gonna kick her ass, and she turns around and she just goes, you little shit, and it just I died. It was so funny.
So it's good times. But yeah, Death's Door is great. I'm not even mad that it'll eventually come to Game Pass. I paid full price and felt very justified in it. Also, I'm playing the new Picross game. The Sega Genesis edition.
P-Cross. No, it's P-Cross. Absolutely P-Cross.
They released a Sega Genesis crossover game where all the puzzles are different Sega Genesis and Master System characters. And, I don't need an extra reason to play another of these games. I've played every single one the Jupiter Company has put out, and I've 100%ed every single one. And, to the point where now people tag me on Twitter when they see a new announcement, because they just know that I'm going to go. I drop everything when a new game comes out. I don't play anything else until I finish this. I am a fanatic, as one might say. So those weird. Are the 2 games I'm playing.
I can't understand it. Like when I see numbers, like I get a slow rash that spreads down my right arm. Numbers literally make me break out in hives. So
John don't do math no good.
I don't do math at all. I don't do math at all.
That's why he gets weirder every time they release a new Final Fantasy game.
He's like, I can't count much higher.
This guy, I love it. John,
Rad. You literally put that costume on, John. What do you think was going to happen?
Hey, look, this isn't a costume. This is just who I am, okay?
You know what?
By the way, CJ is currently roasting you on Twitter, and it's amazing.
That's fine.
I love it. Anyway, so P-Cross, Picross, Pickcross, however you want to pronounce it, I love them. And those are the 2 games I've been playing. I did just buy Axiom Verge, and I have Neo World Ends With You, so those will probably be my next forays.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So, had a fun little topic tonight. I wanted to talk about dead franchises that we haven't seen a release for in a long time that we would love to see come back. 10 years.
Okay.
10 or 15 years at the least. Longer.
Wow.
Longer is better. No, I want older franchises. And I want to start with Reb because one, she's our guest. No?
I don't have anything on my brain right now. Ask someone else.
You're wearing it on your shirt.
Reb, it's literally
That's
on your shirt.
such a cop-out. I always talk about Golden Sun.
Because it's a good answer.
Fine. What's the prompt, John?
Okay, so what's that?
What's the prompt?
What do you mean?
Dead franchises that you'd love
dead
to
franchises.
see
Yeah, dead franchises. Yeah, dead franchises that you want to see come back, but you have to change something. You have to change something about the gameplay. It can't just be like a remaster or
Golden Sun's not my answer then.
Okay. So I'll give you an example.
I don't even want them to make a sequel. I just want them to give me ports. I don't it is too late for a sequel for this game. It would not
it's
be
never
good.
getting a sequel.
No
yeah.
one's going to make. Actually, no. Do you know what I want? Do you know what I,
Immediately
like,
took it
actually-
back.
No,
Yep,
do you know
see,
what I
there we
actually
go.
legitimate? Okay, so this is a horse I have ridden many times. People have heard me talk about this. This is not new to anyone. If you have not heard the good word, so Camelot, the developers behind Golden Sun and Golden Sun: The Lost Age, very interesting little studio. Primarily now work on Nintendo sports games. They are the people who bring us the good news of Mario Tennis and Mario Golf primarily. And way back when they were doing Gold, they've also done like Shining Force and a few other things. But like the Mario sports games are the ones that people know them for. And back when they were still doing like RPGs and stuff, when they were working on Golden Sun, they also at the same time released a Game Boy Advance Mario Golf game. And that was very interesting because if you could go, what's it called? Mario Golf. What's the Game Boy Advance one?
Toadstool Tour?
Is it Toadstool Tour? That's the Game Boy Advance one.
No,
Game Boy Advance is Mario. No, it's just Mario Golf Advance.
Yeah.
Mario Golf Advance Tour.
Yeah,
Advance Tour.
Right.
Yes.
That's what it is.
So if you look that up, if you're familiar with Golden Sun at all, you look that
It
up.
was so good.
Like look at a YouTube like playthrough of it. This game is just Golden Sun. Like they basically just took the Golden Sun, all the assets they had made from Golden Sun, and they just like they made a golf game out of it, which I think is the most brilliant thing in the entire world. I think that is so smart. I think that is just wildly interesting for them to do. So this is like a really weird answer, but I kind of want to see them do this in reverse. Like I want to see them do maybe not Golden Sun, but like some kind of RPG using the crap from their most recent Mario Golf game. I want them to like turn around and do it in reverse, or make like a golf game with the Golden Sun characters. I don't even care. I think it is so wild to like watch the playthroughs of that Mario Golf game and be like, this is just Golden Sun, like down to the bones of this game. That is exactly what this is, except they scrapped all the RPG systems and the turn-based battle systems and put golf systems in. Like absolutely bonkers that they did this, and I want to see them do it in reverse because I think that'd be really cool. I don't think it would be a good game necessarily because I don't think there's any way to recreate the things that were good about Golden Sun. Like if anyone tried to remake Golden Sun now, they would just make like a 3D like. They wouldn't make it. Yeah. They wouldn't make anything good. Like it was like specifically at home on the Game Boy Advance, pushing the limits of the Game Boy Advance systems. Camelot does not have the resources to make like a really good like turn-based kind of RPG that would do that kind of thing. Like Bravely Default is the closest thing we have to what I want from Golden Sun now. I realized.
I agree.
Like very much. So if they ever wanted to team up with Square Enix and make that, great. But yeah, like I would love to see like some weird. I want to see like Golden Sun in golf form or golf in RPG form. That doesn't answer. That's not the answer to your question. Yeah, Golf and Sun. That's not the answer. That's not at all what you asked. But I felt put on the spot.
No, that's close enough.
It
is.
And I think it'd be weird. And I want people to make more weird games, weird stuff. Make more weird things. I don't care. Put Waluigi and everything. Who cares?
So this is where like one of the franchises I talk about the most is Parasite Eve, right? Like I think that's primed for a complete overhaul. But you know what? I'm going to give a different answer. And I think Finn will back me up on this one. You know what I think? You know what I would love to see come back? Completely remade from the ground up. What's that?
Chrono.
Nope. Vagrant Story.
Oh yeah.
Music good.
Vagrant Story, because I went back and I tried to replay Vagrant Story earlier this year, and those gameplay mechanics do not hold up well at all. There was a lot of things about that game that have not aged well. Visually, it's still one of the most impressive titles on the PlayStation. It's got a very almost comic booky style, Finn, I would say, in regards to its art and its text bubbles. And the way it presents itself. But man, the combat in that game and the equipment in that game is so obtuse. None of it's explained. It's not fleshed out well, and it's just a burden to play. Especially since you're having to continually change weapon types depending on your enemy. And to do that, you've got to go into a menu, you've got to go into your equipment, you've got to change your weapon, you got to back all the way out, attack that enemy's specific body part, and then when a different enemy comes in the same fight, you got to do the whole thing over again. So I think a top-down remake. I would love to see Vagrant Story come back with just like a much more streamlined battle system. Put it in third person, and put those weapons on some kind of a wheel that you can just select with the touch of a shoulder button. I would love to, like, Vagrant Story is one of those titles that I just never really got the love from Square Enix that I think it deserved. And I think it's time for that game to make a comeback. And I sit here saying that knowing that it will never fucking happen. I know Vagrant Story is not coming back. But yeah, that's what I think. I would love to see that. Something that hasn't aged well, like Vagrant Story. Derek, what about you?
So I'm thinking on this. I might have gone with Lost Planet, but it's 2013 is the most recent entry, so it's probably too recent for the way we're counting things. I'm gonna go with Mischief Makers. And I know I've attempted to share the love of Mischief Makers before on this channel. It is such a weird little one-off N64 game. I love it. It is just quirky and funny and weird looking, and its entire gameplay is built around shaking and throwing things, and it's just very fun and silly. And I think that you could translate that into like a 3D platformer and take that, carrying, shaking, throwing mechanic and make everything super physics based.
Especially with gyro based controls these days.
Yes.
Derek? Yeah.
But just something just completely bonkers physics based. In terms of like the puzzles and the level design and the combat, and just like where you throw a thing into like 8 other things, and just everything should feel like bowling basically. But I don't know. It's Mischief Makers is wonderful, and any opportunity to have more of that is a good thing. And the only way you could translate that into 3D, I feel like, is to lean into the throwing as a mechanic and just
When did that come out, Derek?
I mean, it's an N64 game, so it's crusty.
So
it's
that
a
98,
90s
99.
something like that, probably.
That makes me feel old.
Yeah.
Finn, do you have Finn, toss us a franchise, man. Toss us a franchise that you want to see come back.
I want to see Beautiful Joe as a turn-based RPG.
I like that. No, but you're going to have to expound on that, because that's a really, really interesting fucking idea.
Beautiful Joe already has an incredibly colorful cast of redonkulous characters, and the abilities already make themselves lent to really cool skill tree upgrade type thing, whether it's the fast forward flame attack, or was it the slowdown flame attack? No, it was the fast forward flame attack. Like the slowdown mode, the zoom in, they had all these kind of options that I think could be tailored really well. And then they, in follow up Beautiful Joe games, they expanded the cast of hero characters. So you could have Beautiful Joe. I mean, we could also have a cameo from Dante from Devil May Cry, because what game wasn't made better?
Right on the box.
Exactly.
From the Devil May Cry franchise, yeah.
What game in that era wasn't made better with a cameo from Dante from Devil May Cry? I'll still never forget how Shin Megami Tensei 3 Nocturne plastered on its case.
I remember,
too, featuring Dante from Devil May Cry. I love
and
it.
Knuckles.
No fucking reason whatsoever.
I want
And
every game that has any kind of DLC character to have that sticker on the
New
box.
funky mode.
New funky mode.
Featuring Funky Kong from the Donkey Kong series
Right,
on the box of Donkey
exactly.
Kong.
But I mean, you have with the V point system, you already have a nice build level up. You have Sylvia, who could be a character. I don't know if it has to be turn based. Maybe you want to pull in a Tales of style, real time action combat. But in my mind, I want a turn based scenario. But I just think Beautiful Joe is a franchise that could transition into that genre and not lose any of its charm. And I want them to keep the comic book cell shaded art style 100%.
Oh yeah, the art style for those games
is so
perfect.
iconic.
The villains were so crazy. I actually, the more I think about it, I would want it to be a Mario RPG scenario where you think you're going to fight the existing villains, but a new villain has caused them all to have to join up with you in an enemy of my enemy is my friend scenario. And those people either become the original bosses from 1 and 2, become either your summons or your party members.
I would love to summon Hulk Davidson on my enemies.
Yeah. Such, it's just such a franchise that I feel could do so much nowadays, but I don't know if we'll ever see it again. So Beautiful Joe, come back in my life, please. I wanted to do something beyond what I normally do. I would usually be like, give me a new Shadow Hearts or give me a new Chrono game, but
Shadow Hearts would be so fucking good, Finn.
We don't want a new Chrono game would be cursed. We don't want it.
I know, but I
Yeah,
can.
I've given this argument before.
yeah, yeah. Like
I
yeah,
would like I
agree
would
with
like a
that.
turn-based RPG where I can summon Mr. Bandit Keith up there.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I'm right here.
Hey,
There's
Chris,
no need to summon me because I'm right
John,
here.
do me a
So-
favor. Just do me a favor, please. Can you just say "For America" in that exact tone, please?
Do I like just in that exact tone?
Yeah,
Yes.
Like, okay, for America,
little whinier.
for America.
There it is. There's the Bandit Keith I know and love.
Okay,
Really
there
good.
you go.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I just
don't
watched
even-
Reb's
I hope someone
head
clipped that.
shrink in between her shoulders as she chuckled.
I hope someone clipped that. That was special.
So, Justin, I'm a natural apparently, according to chat. Justin, what is a game franchise that you would bring back, and why is that game franchise Metal Gear?
Well, yeah, that I mean, it's not quite been long enough. Like that's the thing is like a bunch of the ones that I would admit are like not
don't-
quite long enough.
Justin, we don't
in
count
this
Metal Gear Solid 5. We don't count that game. It was never finished. You can't count what you cannot count what
John,
never.
you absolutely can.
Just
It was
It was a game that came out.
John, stop
Whatever.
gatekeeping your own open-ended question.
like 100 hours into that game. So,
all right. Give us a game. Give us a franchise, Justin.
and then there's so a bunch of the ones I was going to say have gotten remakes or new entries announced this year. But one sticks out to me, and it might not be quite long enough, but I'm going to say it anyway. Sleeping Dogs.
That's a
Sleeping
good
Dogs.
Open
Interesting.
world game from Square Enix that took place in Hong Kong, with like a really, really great like martial arts combat system. And it was so much fun. It was cheesy, it was fun, it was over the top, and like there's so few like open world games that like have the same kind of vibe. Like there's so much like awesome stuff from like a lot of like Asian action films that would work so great in games, and they're so underutilized. Like they're, you know, environments that we haven't, you know, seen too often. They're like gameplay types, characters and stuff. Like I would love to see like a Sleeping Dogs in Shanghai or something. But that studio is gone. Square Enix tried to do like some free to play multiplayer thing.
I remember that. Yeah.
Later, it did not. It was really bad. Like I think it was something else that they decided to make into Sleeping Dogs. But yeah, I would just love to see that come back because it was just such a silly, fun, cool game.
Derek has
Derek?
his finger up.
Yeah, well, when you're done, I just thought of another really good one. But are you done?
I'm done.
Oh, okay, yes. So I had a good one because this one's actually a series and not just a one-off game that nobody but me played. Bring back Bloody Roar.
Yes.
But make it like a 3D beat 'em up instead of a fighting game because nobody plays fighting games. I say this as somebody who plays a lot of fighting games. Nobody plays fighting games. But if you make it like a Streets of Rage style, you know,
dude, yeah, you got to keep that polygonal visual style though, Derek.
as long as I can still be the dude who turns into a penguin. That's a
I just want to
must
be the
have.
big. I want to be top hat gorilla man.
Sorry,
that's all I care about.
bring back Clay Fighter 63 and a third.
Oh,
but have
Derek.
it be
No. I've got one for you.
Derek, how do you feel about that same concept but with Primal Rage instead of Bloody Roar?
Well, now you've just introduced dinosaurs to the mix, which
Just a
does
bunch
make
of gorillas
most
running around
things
pissing on
better.
everybody and burning their flesh off.
I do like dinosaurs a lot. So
I got one for you guys. I got one for you guys, and this is something. CJ and Chet, yo, bring back the pissing. Yeah, that's exact. Yeah, that was the thing that I remember most about Primal Rage is the gorilla pissing.
Actually, John,
on
before you go, I do want to
opponents.
say something from chat is that CJ gave a really cool one. Bring back F-Zero, but it has a Yakuza style game where he plays Captain Falcon doing bounty hunts.
Oh, just running around beating the shit out of everybody.
Nintendo doesn't know what a bounty hunter is.
right, clearly.
Remember the story? They don't know. Like they were trying to like someone was trying to do some Samus game, like they had the license or whatever, and they were trying to do like, what if we made a Samus game where she actually does hunt some bounties? And they're like, what does that mean? Like assassinates people for hire, and they're like, no, she doesn't do that. What do you think a bounty hunter is?
Also, she has hunted entire species to extinction multiple times in that game series.
Yeah, but she wasn't paid to do it, so
She wasn't. She was just fighting weird monster things.
Okay, so
Anyway,
I've got
go ahead.
I've got a good one that's also gonna be controversial for a lot of people.
That's
Oh,
normal.
here we go.
Don't say Final Fantasy, bud.
It has nothing to do with Final Fantasy at all.
Well, that's not true.
I'm worried.
No, it doesn't. Not at all. Onimusha.
Okay.
I want to see.
Okay, that would be a cool one.
I want to see Onimusha come back
What's the twist?
as a 2D Metroidvania.
No, I can fuck with that actually. Yeah.
Okay, sure.
I'm down.
With that really
Why would that be controversial?
with that really crisp, because people think Onimusha and they think, oh, I needed to be, most people would probably be like, oh, I wanted to be like Ghost of Tsushima open world style.
Most people
right?
haven't played an Onimusha.
That's true. That's the sad part. But I think Onimusha
Can
would
Jean
work
Reno
well.
still be in it?
What's that?
Yes.
Can Jean Reno still be in it?
Oh, dude, yes, of course. Like you can play as him or Samanosuke. But dude, Onimusha, I think in the visual style of like Symphony of the Night as a big, massive, kind of open-ended 2D Metroidvania, where there's a bunch of secrets to explore. Like I think if you're gonna bring back Onimusha, that's how you do it. That would be so fucking awesome. I think the visual appeal of that world would really lend itself well to something on just a nice flat plane. Because I feel like if you're gonna bring something like that back, you've got to do it different. Derek, you look like you want to say something.
Okami, but it's just a painting game.
That's really what I mean, Derek. That's really what it was to begin with.
No, it was a Zelda game. Make it a painting game.
It was a Zelda game.
Make it just a beautiful watercolor painting game.
Somebody toss me another franchise that you would bring back much differently.
I had an actual answer after thinking about it for
let's hear it, Reb. I want to hear it.
And I typed it in chat, but I can explain it too. Artanelico, like I don't know when the last time they had an Artanelico.
I don't think I played
It's
any
been
of
a while.
those.
When was the last time there was an Artanelico game?
I know what they are, but I've never played one.
I assume they're just like a JRPG series. It sounds like a random JRPG
the last
series.
release was in 2010. Okay, so it's from Gust, which is still making a bunch of other things. The Artanelico, I've only played the first one, and here's where I fell off of it. So the Artanelico games are this really cool turn-based RPG series where it takes place in this world where there's a bunch of like weird fantasy conceits that are very cool. There's like a big tower and all this kind of stuff. But like music and
famously
singing,
no big towers in the real world.
There's like these robots. There's like these kind of like not really robots, but like these like hyper intelligent artificial intelligence robot women who have this capability. They were designed with this capability to sing these very specific songs that can make like cool magic shit happen. And there's like all this like lore around that. But the thing that is really cool about Artanelico is two things. One, they created multiple entire musical languages for this game. The music is incredible. It will make your brain explode. Just Google like the first Artanelico game soundtrack and just start listening to it through. Oh my God, it will like pierce your soul. It's so good. But the other thing is the turn-based battle system is really good. You have I believe if I remember right, usually in the first game you have two characters in front who do normal turn-based battle crap. But then you have a Rebekah, who is one of those like little robot people in the back, and you pick a song for her to sing, and the two people in front are protecting her. The enemies can't hit her unless they're both down. So you have to protect her and keep her singing. And her songs can do different things. They can heal, they can do damage, they can buff you, all these other things. And you can choose how long for her to sing or how powerful you want her to sing. And there's all sorts of strategy involved with choosing what she is doing in the back of the fight while the other two are up there fighting. And it's very cool. It's a really great game. But the thing that put me off of it is it's got some weird sexual innuendo shit in it. Like there's a whole thing where it's a very JRPG thing where you have to do like these dives into their minds to like help them confront their inner demons, the Rebekahs, and like, come out on the other side stronger. It gets real creepy. It's not great. It's this wonderful JRPG that you don't expect to have weird, creepy visual novel elements, but then it does. And so what I would do is I would just get rid of literally all of that. Any of the innuendos, any of the weird sexual shit, and like, I'm not getting rid of like all romance options. Like I think that's fine, but I would just totally replace it with like a Fire Emblem Three Houses style of things where there's like giving gifts and having conversations and like building up trust in battle and all these other things, and then that unlocking, and having tea or whatever the equivalent is with them, and then that unlocking cutscenes where you just get to know them better and the ability to pursue both friendships and relationships instead of just like everything getting real creepy real quick. So that's not like a huge shift, but that's what I do. I'd bring Artilico back and just make it way more PG-13.
I mean, I don't think this is a controversial take, but I do think that anime-influenced JRPGs in general could stand to be like 30% less horny, right?
Yes.
Like,
I love a horny game as much as the next person. Don't get me wrong,
there's a time and place for it. And it's not every single anime inspired JRPG
with characters that look like teenagers. No.
Right. No. The time is not Persona 5, y'all. Like,
and also like not necessarily embedded in the middle of a really like strong and interesting turn-based RPG that if you just like look at the box, that's not what you think you're getting into. Yeah. Probably. Yeah, it took me by surprise. I was playing in my college dorm back when I was still super duper Catholic, and I was having this great time. And then all of a sudden, he's like trying to plug something into her, and it gets very innuendo filled.
That doesn't sound good.
And there's one of those like very typical scenes where like there's a woman like
John,
like no.
In that outfit, you saying that doesn't sound good after that is just felt very, very uncomfortable to me.
That don't sound good. So I've got so how about this? So I hate to bring up this name because of everything happening with Blue Box Studios, but Silent Hill.
God, did you really bring me in here for this?
I did.
We're not talking about
it's not a Kojima game.
No, I know it's not.
It's not anything.
It's not anything. That like it's literally fucking nothing. It's dust. It's smoke and mirrors.
Anyway.
But bring Silent Hill as a turn-based RPG.
No. No.
Because Shadow Hearts, Kudelka and Shadow Hearts.
John.
What?
John, how in the world can you make something turn-based scary?
Dude, have you ever played Kudelka?
Kudelka and Shadow Hearts have really cool, like creepy atmosphere.
Yeah,
I would personally be very into a horror turn-based RPG. I think an indie developer could do something real cool to make that very interesting.
Yeah, you just play
with like. We need to attach the Silent Hill IP to that.
You just play with the tension of like so. For example, like think of I don't know how many people here have played like Into the Breach, for example. But like you can make turn-based games incredibly tense in terms of that constant feeling like you're on the verge of defeat. And Into the Breach would be a lot scarier if it marred that if it married that tension with an actual horror aesthetic instead of like fun, pulpy pixel art like cartoon bugs attacking cities.
That's fair. That's fair. I have played Into the Breach and just gotten demolished as soon as I play it, so I haven't put as much time in it as I'd like.
And I would Darkest Dungeon brought up in chat, of course.
Darkest Dungeon,
Darkest Dungeon,
okay.
I could see, so like I know Eternal Darkness is not this, but like the things that make Eternal Darkness scary, I feel like elements of that could be used to make a turn-based RPG.
I haven't been meaning to replay that. I've got my GameCube. I've got Eternal Darkness. I've been meaning to replay that. Yeah, and like you know, like the little weird visual cues as your sanity starts to slip. Yeah, no, I agree. Like Justin, I would recommend look into Kudelka and like on YouTube or something. Like it's an actual like horror turn-based RPG. And it's really
I'll look it up. I had heard of it, but I wasn't familiar with what it was at all.
I mean, visual novels are sometimes scary, and you know, so why can't a turn-based RPG be like?
But it doesn't need Silent Hill. Is my point. We don't need that.
Yeah.
Silent Hill can just be Silent Hill.
Okay.
So I've got another one just because everything's better if you make it an RPG. Infamous.
Oh boy.
But you make it a action RPG.
No, I actually got one. I got a counter one. I got a counter one.
Let's take Gears of
Make
War and
it
make it a
a-
shooter. Like,
Make
I don't know.
it a side-scrolling beat 'em up in the style of Comic Zone, where you're jumping
Ooh.
between like comic panels.
I'm down. I just want more Infamous, and I want more RPGs.
You're never gonna get
both.
more. Dude, that franchise is dead. That franchise is deader than dead. I would love Infamous to come back, but
You know what?
that's not
Someone
gonna
clip
happen.
this because it eventually will, and I just want John to be wrong again.
It won't.
it's not
It
happening,
won't.
man.
It won't
There's
happen.
no
I'm telling you
way.
right now, Infamous is not coming back. Yeah, I tend to agree with Derek. The closest you're gonna get to another Infamous is when I wear that purple beanie that came with my special edition of Second Son. Next time on
Dead
the podcast.
Space
That's the
Theater
closest you're
Rhythm.
gonna get. That's the closest you're gonna get. Now I will say, like, you know what? You know what? I won't say 100% with 100% because we said that Dead Space was never gonna come back, and that's getting completely remade. So I'll say there's a 99% chance that you're never gonna see another Infamous game.
I mean, I just
But-
think it's unlikely. One, because Ghost of Tsushima was hugely successful. And two, Sony has Spider-Man now, and I don't think they're
Right.
like their own open world superhero is not going to be able to compete against Spider-Man.
I agree. What about The Last of Us as a dating sim?
That franchise
outta
is
here.
dead.
Yeah,
We
that's
just
you're
had-
beating your own
John,
rules.
who cares? I'm
John-
breaking the rules.
He's just he's
You-
playing Mad
you
Libs
came
now.
up with the rules.
I'm
The
breaking
Last
them.
of Us
you know
might be
what? I
like the
came up with
least
the
dead
rules.
video game in existence.
Yeah,
Like,
we literally
came up with the
spent an
rules, therefore I
entire
can break
year before its release dreading it coming out to
Litigate,
talk
yeah.
about it, and then a solid 6 months
Look at my
after it
sweet
came
mullet.
out, dreading talking about it still. Like,
John, no.
Look at
There's
my
also an
sweet mullet. I can
HBO
break the
series
rules.
coming next year.
yeah, no,
I totally forgot about the no, but in all seriousness, what about
there's
a
no
franchise that we have not
seriousness
seen
when
for
you
a
look
long
like
time is
this. Are
Dino-
you fucking kidding me? Look at you.
I know.
Yeah,
That's true.
sorry.
That's true.
Look at
Dino
yourself.
Crisis, and I've seen this mentioned in chat a bunch as well. Dino Crisis.
Hey,
I would
look,
love to see
Jaw
Dino
Muncher.
Crisis come back.
Shut up.
Yeah.
If you say
you can't run
Dino
him.
Crisis 3 times in a mirror, John Buncher shows up to
He
say
just-
what's up.
Yeah. Like Dino Crisis as I saw a few people suggest this in chat. Dino Crisis as a turn-based strategy game.
As an XCOM game.
You're just throwing stuff together.
No, Blaine in
That's the whole
chat's
point.
like an XCOM game.
Yeah, that's what somebody in chat said. Like somebody in chat said basically Dino Crisis but XCOM. And I thought that was a great fucking idea.
Ooh, Dark
The
Souls
problem-
is
the problem with
good.
this prompt is like every old franchise I can think of that I want to come back. I just want more of that.
Yeah.
Like
No.
Wario Land 4. I just want a Wario Land 5 that's as good as Wario. I don't want to change that. That
Well,
game was great.
Web, the prompt didn't involve that. It just somehow became this. The prompt
I
didn't
thought
bring
that's what-
back something.
No, I thought John said, because we've done the bring back prompt a lot of times when I've been on here. I thought John said genre bend it.
Sean is just saying, what if X but Y at this
Yeah.
point?
Yeah, pretty
Yeah.
much. Do you think we'll ever get a new Wario Land?
No,
No? Do you think
No.
that's
it's
done?
WarioWare now.
It's WarioWare now?
Sorry, Imran. Wario. Nah.
What?
Wow.
WarioWare?
Wario.
I was gonna say WarioWare, but then a new one's coming out in like 2
Yeah.
months. So
Less than that, actually, isn't it? Like it's coming out in
October or something.
September. It comes out like early
Oh,
September, I
shit.
believe. Yeah. No, dude, WarioWare is coming out fucking soon. There's a lot of games coming out this year. There are so many franchises I would love to revisit. And I
Captain
think
Commando
this,
is a character action game.
Captain Commando. What about Bionic Commando?
No. Bionic Commando
Dude, Bionic.
had his chance, and he was voiced by the guy from Faith No More and had dreadlocks, and white people should never
Wait,
have dreadlocks.
wait. Hold on. Wait.
Yeah,
What?
the-
he was voiced by the guy from Faith No More.
Yeah, Mike Patton voiced the Bionic
Mike
Commando.
Patton? Wait, what?
And he had and he had dreadlocks, which again I must stress, white people should never have. So It's simply not allowed.
Voiced by Mike Patton.
yeah.
I knew a whole lot of weird stuff about that game, but not that. So
I did not know he was not. Now I'm just gonna picture that guy like yes, that is it. That it's never fucking leaving my head.
I'm sorry,
I
was that
cannot
a
believe that.
frog voice? Like was
That's how Mike
your
Patton sounds to me in my
Patton
head.
voice
Don't
just
ask
a
him to repeat
talking
it.
frog.
That's how Mike Patton sounds in my head. I'm sorry. I don't know what you want me to tell you. Yeah, somebody said rival schools in chat. That's a really good one, actually. I would love to see rival schools make
What's
a
that
comeback.
Sunshine game Justin likes?
Boktai?
Bakugan?
Boktai.
Tie.
The sun is in your
Boktai would
hand.
be a good one.
The sun
How do
is, but that's impossible though, because
No, it's
the
not.
whole
There's
thing-
cameras on every
Literally
device
all
now.
of these are impossible, John.
No, but what I'm saying, no, Boktai would literally be impossible because the whole point of that game was leaving your GBA cart out in the sun all day to grow the power of your character in the game so you can kill vampires.
Oh no, John, don't worry. I don't know if you've heard, but back in 2017, Nintendo released a console handheld hybrid called the Nintendo Switch. And it's this really cool thing where you can stick it in a dock and play it on your TV.
It has like a
You can
camera
also
on it so it
pick
can sense light.
You
like,
can also pick it
Yeah.
up and take it outside
Wild.
with you.
Yeah, it's
And
crazy.
they've even released a handheld only version called the Nintendo Switch Lite that can only go outside with you. It's
Yeah.
very
But-
cool.
It's wild.
But it would be almost impossible to see in the sun if you're playing it.
John, let me also tell you, these days, people are even putting video games on phones. So you could just take your phone outside
He would
and
never play. a
John
video
does
game
not
on
believe
Have
in
you
mobile
tried
games
to play-
existence.
Have you tried to play a video game on a handheld in the sun?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's fun.
Yeah, I
have
took-
You
the
don't do it
technology
with the
now.
sun
You can't
directly
see that
overhead,
shit.
so you have sun
Buddy-
glare. What do you?
Buddy, I played Golden Sun on a Game Boy Advance
According
in the
to
sun as
John-
a kid by holding it next to my face and squinting, and I was able to do that. This
That
thing's
sounds
got brightness
horrible.
levels. It's
According
great.
to John,
sounds terrible.
smartphones simply don't work outside of houses because of the sun. I have never once.
He's dressed like someone that,
The whole
that
point-
believes
No, hold
that
on.
phones
Hold
don't
on,
work
hold
right
on.
out in the sun.
Hold on. The whole point of Boktai was that you left your crowd out all day. Like you left
you
it in the
could
sun
be
all
playing
day.
it
John,
in
that's
the
not how
sun.
it works.
That's not how it
John.
worked at
That
all.
is how it worked.
No.
No, it's not. I own it. I
I own
played
it
it quite a
too.
bit.
Then why are you so wrong about it, John?
No, I'm not
'Cause-
wrong about it.
Okay, no, but here's my I never played these games. I think it'd be really cool to have
Okay.
a Bakugan game that was mobile. It was on your phone. And sorry, Boktai.
Boktai,
I keep
yeah.
saying, what the hell is a Bakugan? And is like tied.
That is a thing.
That's
I
a
don't
whole other
But
conversation.
maybe like is very specifically tied to not being left in the sun all day,
Yeah,
but like you
It doesn't have
taking
to
it
work
outside
exactly the same
with
way.
you and like encouraging people to go outside more often with their phones or something. And there's some like element of that is involved in playing this game. I think that could be very cool. Put it on Apple Arcade,
I mean,
folks.
I mean,
Ooh,
you could.
yo, I have
but,
one. I have one. All right,
but the thing,
Pokemon
but
Go.
like, well, hold on, Finn. Hold
Oh
on,
no,
real
wait,
quick,
wait,
real
wait.
quick.
Pokemon Go,
Hold on,
but
hold
it's
on.
the traditional turn-based RPG monster collecting.
You might be onto
Game.
something here.
Yeah.
That'll never sell.
So the whole
no one will buy that.
premise. So the reason, I mean, in all seriousness, the reason that you would have a hard time getting that work to on something like a phone is that there was a chip inside. Like the whole point is. It was
John, it can
essentially
literally just use your.
This is a
your
pipe
camera.
dream. In this imaginary world, we can make any technology we want, John.
Also, I don't know
Doesn't
if
matter
you
how
remember,
Game Boy
but
Advance works.
John. Also, this is a Kojima game. He will make you buy an accessory to play his game if you
Why would
want to.
you-
It had a special cart. like,
you want to do that. I just want to say that like Justin froze me real quick, and he looked like he had this look of just abject rage on his face.
Yeah,
as
that's
he
what
was
all of us
explaining-
feel looking at you right now. Jesus Christ,
I can't
John.
believe you left the costume on this entire. You could have taken that
I
off.
can't
It
believe
doesn't-
you.
it doesn't
you know
matter.
what? I'm on the abandoned as Boktai 3.
Oh my
train
God,
now.
please.
I
don't
think
do
it's
that,
frog
Justin.
fractions. I think this is a big frog fractions tease. That's what I.
Frog
That's my.
The real
pitch.
Frog Fractions 2 is coming.
What
It's
the
not
hell is
even.
frog?
It's not even frog because we've had frog fractions 1 and 2.
Yeah,
and
but no,
apparently
2
Yeah.
wasn't the
apparently
real Frog
DLC
Fractions 2. This is
It's
Frog
gonna be
Fractions
4.
2.
It's Frog Fractions 4.
But I forgot. Isn't the DLC to 2 technically, or the DLC to one of them like 3? So this is like Frog Fractions 5. I want it to skip a number, so everyone's
Yeah,
wondering what the
it's
hell
got to
Frog
skip a
Fractions
number.
It's
No,
gonna be
abandoned is Frog
it's gonna be
Fractions.
Frog
Oh,
Fractions
John.
L. It's not even gonna
I
be
don't-
numbered. It's just
How do we explain to John what Frog Fractions
I
is?
don't.
Don't.
John, I don't think
I'm
I
just
can
gonna-
explain regular fractions to him, much less frog fractions.
The very short version, John, is that it was this it was a flash game. It was like a browser game or something that looked like it came off as like an edutainment game, but very quickly devolved into just like absolute chaos. It was like very very stupid in a funny way, like very very cult beloved kind of little game. And then he kickstarted a sequel to it because it was very beloved to Frog Fractions 2, but then like everyone. I don't remember what the context of the Kickstarter was, but like everyone was wondering.
Basically,
where it was. Like, what was Frog Fractions 2?
The whole concept of that Kickstarter was they were going to make a Frog Fractions 2, but it was going to be hidden within another game, and they weren't telling anybody what the other game was.
And then they ended up finding it hidden inside this other Steam game called Glitter Mitten Grove. And so we found Frog Fractions 2. So there was a joke on the internet for several years where anytime a trailer came out that was like vague,
oh, this is Frog Fractions 2,
or stupid looking, everyone would reply, "Is this Frog Fractions 2? This is Frog Fractions 2." So that was the joke. So this is all to explain why I'm saying I think Abandoned is just like Frog Fractions 5 or some shit.
Okay, that makes sense. That makes complete sense. Yeah, nobody knows what Abandoned is a concept. It's not it's just a shitty fucking marketing thing that blew up in their faces. That's what Abandoned is. I think it's not. I think it's like a very normal little indie game that got way more attention than anyone expected it to, and Sony backed it for I know not what reason.
So so Sony hasn't backed it. They all they did was put a PlayStation blog post on, which like, you just pay for, and people have like there's a whole lot of people that are like rewriting what happened. They're like, oh well, why was it featured in a state of play? It was never in a state of play. It was just a random PlayStation blog post. And also just there is a timeline out there I posted earlier about this studio's history. They have started a lot of projects, announced a lot of projects that have just never come out. In 2015, they tried, hey, we're going to do a playable teaser for our new horror game. Then it got delayed last minute because of technical issues, and then that game never came out and vanished off of their website, which sounds very familiar to this current situation. Like, this is not some professional thing. This is a studio that has hard time producing things, and when they do, they're not good. And
they're in way over their head.
Yeah. They're in way over their head, and it's not worth paying attention to. The few things that they've put out have been extremely low quality.
They got caught blatantly lying about a patch on Twitter today. I don't know if you guys.
Yep.
I don't know if you guys saw that.
And just like this whole situation is not worthwhile. Like, don't harass anybody involved.
Don't harass them over it. But
just like I want to make that clear. But like, it's not a situation that I think you should be rooting for anybody for. It's not a situation you should be following very closely.
It's like a situation to just disengage from entirely.
Yeah, it's just ignore it. Stop paying attention to it.
I'm tired.
Everyone's weird, like conspiracy theories about, oh well, we can only find like one guy's name on here, and the studio's address is his house, and the website is terrible. Yeah, that's like every tiny indie studio. I've covered indie studios for so many years. Nobody has any money. Nobody has any energy for this. It's just like 3 people making a game in their basements. This is so normal and boring.
Yeah, like it's
but it's taken over. I have to think about it every day because anytime there's any news, people want to click on it. So I'm thinking about it constantly.
Yeah, and when they superimposed the picture of that guy in the eye patch, like they knew exactly what they were doing.
No, because nobody thought it was Metal Gear. Everyone thought it was Silent Hill. Nobody thought it was Metal Gear. The eye patch thing doesn't make sense as a connection.
No,
it's Majima. It's Majima.
It does. Because
maybe it's a Yakuza game.
Because people have been talking Kojima.
Yes, but Kojima never was tied to Silent Hill beyond the fact that he wanted to make a game he didn't get to make. Like,
but you can't explain that to these people. So
there's a lot of things I can't explain probably to you because you look like somebody who would call me the F slur and then I'd find you on Grindr later. Like, Jesus, man, what is wrong with you? I can't. Oof with you.
I love it so much.
All right, we are.
You look like you're dressed like somebody.
You look like an uncle I never met.
A Silent Hill game.
An uncle you never met.
And never want to.
You look like every asshole on the internet's caricature of you.
That's true. Yeah. That is actually very true.
You look like half the Facebook comments on every one of my news stations.
I look like a walking forum post.
Yeah. Yeah,
like
you just look like Kid Rock, and that's it.
It's hard to perceive you right now because I'm just expecting, like, you should just be sitting in the front seat of a truck, the front facing camera on you.
Right. At like a way too close angle, for sure, and like weirdly
You look
low.
like-
Right.
You look like you finally get to say "my body, my choice," but don't understand the hypocrisy behind you saying that.
Yeah. All right. Well, we are pushing up against our time here. But Reb, are you okay? Did you hurt yourself?
I'm fine.
Okay.
My elbow slipped off the desk. I'm good.
No, she's just
So-
allergic to fucking you right now.
Yeah, it happens. It happens. Can't say I've
You
learned.
look like the man who I saw at Joe's barbecue last week, who drove up in a massive truck covered in Garth Brooks stickers, followed by
It was labeled the Garth Vault.
it was labeled the Garth
Wait,
Vault, followed by a
what?
second truck also covered in Garth Brooks stickers, who were all going to the giant Garth Brooks concert.
I'm sorry. The Garth Vault?
The Garth Vault, yes.
Yeah, the Garth Vault. That was the name of this truck.
See, they
John-
really fucked up by not naming that truck Garthzilla.
I love you, man, but you do look like somebody who brags about their ability to grill chicken, and all you do is throw Lowry seasoned salt on it.
Hey, you know what? There's nothing wrong with that.
Yes, there is.
Yes, there is.
Reb, it was so nice to have you back on. Was it nice to be back on, Reb?
It was nice to see Derek, Justin, and Ben.
Thank you. Perfect. I'll tell you what.
John, you look like you've knocked
can't
over the
say-
candy rack
Does
at
this help?
at a gas station.
I can't say it was nice to meet the
No, that's
embodiment of
actually
the
almost
parts of
worse.
4th of July,
Somehow,
but-
taking the sunglasses off has made it worse.
Oh, that's quite bad.
Yeah,
taking
'cause
off
now
the
you
look-
makes it even
no.
more apparent that the beard does not match the hair.
Now
and
you
that
look
just-
like
no,
an
no.
old pervert that I would find at a bowling alley.
You look like someone
All right.
who's made 4th of July his entire personality.
Oh, there we
Oh,
go.
my God.
Oh my god.
Oh.
Wait, no, you still
Holy
do.
shit.
Better?
No, all of our statements still hold true.
No.
Oh shit! It doesn't change anything.
I'm glad to have you back, John.
Thanks, Eric. Appreciate that. No, Reb, seriously, you are. Somebody said he's just Brett Michaels with the sunglasses off. Reb, seriously, we are so proud of what you've been doing at IGN. And watching your career grow as it has just been incredibly satisfying to see. And just we could not be happier for you. Seriously.
So much. I'm delighted. I'm moving out to San Francisco in a couple months. Well, less than 2 months actually.
Less than 2 months now.
Oh,
A month and a half
yeah.
now.
I wish I could help you move.
Yeah, that'd be really great. Actually, I don't have a bunch of bandit Keiths, a bunch of muscular American truckmen out here to move my furniture for me. So it's a bummer, right?
So Reb, I am assuming that everybody who follows us already knows where to find you, but just in case they don't, where can they find you?
Yeah, sure. You can find me on Twitter at Duck Valentine. I don't have nearly as many things to plug as I used to, actually, because all my time is absorbed at IGN. But yeah, Twitter Duck Valentine, and you can find my work at IGN.com.
Outstanding.
Straightforward.
Outstanding.
Yes,
What's-
it's easy.
Yeah, absolutely. Just a few things coming up in the future. Of course, we have Extra Life coming up in November, and Derek, Justin, and Brittany and myself will all be here. And Derek, what do we have on the docket for?
24-hour Pokemon Nuzlocke. It's gonna be stupid.
God damn.
And,
I'm so excited.
I'm gonna like I said, I'm gonna wake up at 2 a.m. and Derek's gonna be blazed, having left me nothing but poison types.
Yeah.
That's
I am
all we're gonna have
absolutely
left.
dropping an edible just off camera. And we can watch my devolution as I attempt to play Pokemon.
That is exactly what's gonna happen. And they are actually going to be here a few days early, and who knows, maybe the day before we'll do like a Jackbox stream like we did Derek, the last time you were here, we did that Jackbox stream.
Yeah, some good for funsy times.
And we had that same answer. I think it was Imran and Sam who said, a book that doesn't exist, and they both answered
John's good opinions.
John's good opinions. And they both answered it. Yeah, that was.
Oh, they're Anorian referencing it in the chat. Yeah.
Yeah, there it is. Another John's good opinions stream. Yeah, we'll have one of those. But yeah, I need that. I desperately need to.
I just want to hug some folks, real
I know.
bad.
Justin
I
gives
know.
good hugs. He has.
Oh, yeah.
He has
Oh, yeah, he
hugs for all
do.
four of you for me.
Justin's got those
I
big
do.
warm hugs.
I have hugs waiting in reserve from Reb to deliver.
Yes, please.
Next time I see all of you.
I can't wait to hug you and John again. I have never hugged Britt, so that'll be a first. That'll be fun.
None of us have ever hugged
Yeah,
Britt, ever.
it'll be
This
great.
would be a first for all of us. Imran says there's never been a John's Good Opinion stream.
He's correct.
I don't know about that.
I
don't
do.
know about that, Imran.
Every stream that starts, there's like a mental ticking down timer to when John, like minutes since John last.
When
had
he
a good
Johns.
opinion. Yeah, whatever.
John?
It is. And this particular one, the clock reset the second he turned on his camera.
Yeah. Yeah. This
I will
one
say,
started.
I wish I had taken that thing off earlier because my head is so itchy now. It's so itchy. That was a really cheap mullet wig I bought. Did not feel good at all.
Did have that scratchy fishnet on the
Yeah,
underside,
it did,
rubbing
yeah.
right up
My-
against
and-
your scalp.
And my bald head is so tender, and it doesn't feel good. Doesn't feel good at all. But
Oh.
anyway,
Why are
We'll
we still on?
Go rub cortisone on your bald head, John.
I'm gonna go lotion my bald head up. Get rid of some of the
That
itchiness.
sentence.
God damn it.
What?
God damn it. God, just
What? You
end
gotta
the
what? You gotta make it soft. You gotta make
Take
it soft.
care
Anyway.
of yourselves, everybody. I'm killing the feed.